Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks again for tuning in. Basically asked you guys this week about what you wanted to know for about fitness and training and all my kinds of training, and you guys hit me with so many questions, so I'm going to do my best to answer as many of them as I can. I've written down some of the key elements here. A lot of you asked some of the same stuff, so hopefully I can kill a few birds with one stone, so to speak. A lot of it's to do with running, but there's also little bits about weight training and about boxing, about confidence, about nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna try and do a little bit of everything. It might be a little bit jumpy here and there. So starting off, how often do you run each week? So I've actually done a video on my workout split before. Please do go and watch that. I'll try and link it below. But I try to fit in 1 to 3 runs per week. I think it's really important to keep up cardiovascular fitness. If you don't like running, that's absolutely fine. You can figure out something else like walking or boxing or whatever it is. I just think getting in cardio is very important. And those runs that I do are about 5 to 12 kilometers each time. I'm working with Orange Theory at the moment, which is a fitness class where you do half of the class on the treadmills, and that tends to be around 5 kilometers, whether that is an endurance session or a sprint session or like whatever it is. It tends to be around 4 or 5 kilometers. Can I do cardio and weights at the same time, as in your weekly schedule? Can you fit in cardio and weights? Yeah, I think it's really important, as I said, to be fitting in kind of cardio into your sessions as well as weights. I think too many people focus on, you know, trying to get a big bum, or, you know, just lifting because that's in fashion, or not doing cardio because that kind of fell out of fashion for quite a long time on social media. But I do think that it's really important that everyone manages to fit in some sort of resistance training and some sort of cardio. If you're a runner, try to fit in around 2 sessions of resistance training a week at least. When I was training for the marathon, I was doing those sessions straight away as soon as I came back from my runs. So after a shorter run, I would do just a simple circuit, something like lunges, squats, burpees, push-ups, plank, that kind of thing. So it's like a full body workout, nothing strenuous, but just gets the muscles working and means that you don't have so much muscle wastage as quite a lot of people do get when they are training for marathons. I do also think, this might be controversial, but I do also think that all people who do weight training should also have good cardiovascular systems and should train cardio. I don't know why that's controversial, but I think it is probably a controversial opinion. In terms of longevity, not just aesthetics, but in terms of longevity, I think it's really important that we all, you know, keep our hearts healthy, and one of the best ways of doing that is being able to walk or run or do any sort of cardio exercise. So like I said, it doesn't have to be running, but you should be doing some. Do you have a training plan? No, I don't have a particular training plan, because I have so many different goals and different events every week that also involve various different workouts. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, you know, in 2 weeks time or whatever it is. I do plan my workouts, so that is, I plan the week of workouts mostly, and then I also, if I'm going to the gym, I'll try and plan what I'm going to do there. I don't tend to split up my days into legs, arms, abs, whatever it is, but I will try to focus on one part of the body and one part of the gym, and then maybe move to a different part of the body and a different part of the gym, and so that I get kind of full body workout of resistance training. How do I keep fit with work / uni / anything else? I think it's important to remember here that even if you don't have time to go to the gym, which is your whatever 45 minutes, 1 hour a day, you still have 23 other hours in the day. And if you're sitting still during those 23 hours but going to the gym for 1 hour, your body is going to hate you. I think sitting down for long periods of time is actually more harmful than not exercising. So basically the most important thing to be focusing on is moving throughout the day rather than necessarily getting to the gym. But if you have big projects coming up, make sure to give yourself a break. Being mentally exhausted can also lead to physical exhaustion and vice versa. So you don't really want to be overtraining if you've got like massive deadline coming up or exams or whatever it is. Having said that, do remember that working out lots or working out in general can increase productivity and, you know, boost your mood and give you a bit of a break from the work that you're doing. So, you know, it's a balance to be had, but the best things that I can recommend that I found really helpful when I was at uni and also in full-time work was walking in the mornings, even just 15 minutes. I used to walk to and from work, which is 45 minutes, but when I was at uni it was like a 15-minute walk into uni, and I found that that like woke me up more than, you know, morning coffee or whatever it was. And then walking at lunchtime as well. Lunch is like the lethargic part of the day, and going for a walk and getting some fresh air, especially if it's like out in a park or something, just makes all the difference, and just means that your body gets a bit of a break from the work that you're doing, and your muscles actually are used rather than just sitting down. Sitting down is a big killer, so do it less if you can. What's your favorite post-workout snack? For me, it's anything carby. Probably my favorite is like something really simple, just like bread and olive oil and a pinch of salt. I just love that mixture, but you can switch out the carbs for another carb and the olive oil for any other fat. I'm kind of happy with whatever. Why do I get bloated after I train? So this is really interesting, and I actually looked into this a while ago because I was also wondering the same thing. I get exactly the same, which is not ideal on a fitness shoot if you are actually training. So there are kind of three main things. Cortisol, which is our body's stress hormone, gets released when we're working out because our body's obviously being put under some stress, and that causes retention of fluids. And if you're drinking water also throughout your workout, as you probably should be, that can mean that that water is then being retained in your body, causing it to bloat a little bit. The second reason might be that when we work out, our blood is being pumped all around the body, both the muscles and also our organs, and because we've got a lot of organs obviously in our trunk area, that means that if there's more blood in that area, it can bloat as well. Just probably a small amount, but that can also cause bloating. That's also why you get the muscle pump if you are working out hard. It's what all the guys try and do. Do you lift heavy? Not really. I mean, I think everything's relative. I don't really try to lift particularly heavy at the moment. My weighted squat press and all that kind of stuff at the moment is about 15 kilos for my physio, but I'm building strength. My marathon totally destroyed all sorts of muscles in my body, so I'm just trying to build back up to being strong. It's not my main focus at the moment, but I do, as I said, you know, try and incorporate all sorts of weighted workouts into my routine. How do I get started with weight training? I think this is a really common question. People feel a little bit scared and intimidated to go down to the gym because they feel like they have no idea what to do, and I was exactly the same when I first started. Granted, that was quite a long time ago, but honestly I just felt like, why am I here and what am I doing? I think if you can afford it, even if you share it with a friend, try and get a personal trainer for a couple of sessions, 3 sessions, just so that you can get introduced to the gym, what all the different machines are, what the weights are, the kind of ways that you can train, and what the correct technique is. Obviously technique's super duper important when you're training, and it can take a long time to get right, and I think like I'm still learning proper technique for various things, but getting a personal trainer can really speed along that process. And also you don't feel so alone in the gym. If you're there with a personal trainer, you feel like you actually have purpose. Obviously that's quite expensive for a lot of people, so another way of doing it is either looking at online videos, so you have to be careful where they come from, or starting a fitness program. I know my sister obviously has one, and also Alex Crockford does a really good one. He does various different ones. I think he does weighted ones in the gym, unweighted ones like home workouts and all that kind of stuff that can give you a plan of what to do, you know, day in day out for 12 weeks or whatever it is. And that means that you don't feel like you're going into the gym with no idea what you're supposed to be doing, because you actually have a set plan. And I did Kayla Tsina's BBG1 twice and BBG2 once, and that actually, I mean, I kind of already knew how to work out by that point, but it gave me, you know, other ideas of the sorts of things to do in the gym, and I think that was really helpful for me, even as someone who'd already been going to the gym for about 4 years by that point. How to recover and not get frustrated post-injury. I totally feel your pain. Literally, I feel your pain. Listen to your physio or your doctor or whoever you're seeing. It's so frustrating when you're used to working out not to be able to work out in that way anymore. I totally understand where you're coming from, but it is so important to listen to your physio and what they say and what they think you're ready for and what you're definitely not ready for. Obviously, listen to your body. Fitness can be painful, but it should not be painful in the way that is actually causing permanent harm to your body. And if you're running through injuries or whatever it is, you can cause permanent harm. If you can, speak to your physio, like I said, but if you can, go on walks, get outside, get moving in some way that isn't the way that aggravates your injury, whether that is cycling, spinning, swimming, aerobics, you know, whatever it is. It just, if you can get moving, it will alleviate some of the, not guilt, I think that's probably a bad word, because I don't feel guilt when I don't train. I just get very hyped because I have a lot of energy. Yeah, I think just trying to move in some way that's not necessarily the way that's gonna hurt you is a good idea if your physio says that that is okay to do. But do talk to them. Don't be stupid. I think a lot of people people are like, oh, it's probably fine, it feels fine. It's probably not fine. It takes our bodies take a long time to heal, and we need to help them along the way. And just remember that your rest is going to make you stronger in the long run, so just don't be an idiot. Does price matter with activewear? I think this really varies depending on the brand, but no, I think for some brands there are good activewear at a lower price range, and other brands, mentioning no names, Lululemon, can be overpriced for what they are. Obviously Lululemon has great clothes, they're very nice and they're very good quality material, but do they need to be 110 quid for a pair of leggings? Probably not. You can probably get better stuff for cheaper. Should I train every day / with DOMS? So DOMS is delayed onset muscle soreness. It's that feeling that you get the day or 2 days after you've done a workout session. First off, DOMS, as a side note, is not necessarily a sign of a good workout session, and if you don't have DOMS, that doesn't mean you've had a bad workout session. I rarely hurt after my workouts anymore because my body's kind of used to what I'm doing. Apart from boxing, I always hurt after boxing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you've had a good or a bad workout. And yes, you can train with DOMS, but if something's feeling a little bit strained, like a more than just muscle soreness, a kind of twinge, you probably should not train that area for a bit until it stops twinging, because overtraining can obviously lead to injury and having to take time off. Refer to 2 points ago. Should I train every day? No, you should probably not train every day. I definitely don't train every day. I tried to have 2 rest days a week, but some people can train every day, and it depends what you count as training. If you count yoga as training, yoga's probably fine to do every day, but yeah, I think it's important to give our bodies a rest, and I would rather undertrain than overtrain. What type of training does your body like best? Weights, cardio, HIIT. For me, anything that's sort of powerful but also involves an element of cardio. So yeah, HIIT kind of essentially is what my body likes best. I kind of know this because I did sprinting when I was younger, and then I took up squash to quite a high level when I was in lower and upper 6th, and that is one of the most explosive sports that you can possibly imagine, except for maybe boxing, which is what I do now. And my body absolutely thrives off very high intensity workouts with also periods of rest in between. So high intensity interval training is the one for me. Having said that, I am also quite prone to building muscle, so I can get quite strong quite quickly, but I'm not a power lifter. I can't lift as heavy as a lot of other people that I know, not that it's a competition. And my body hates endurance cardio. I'm not built for it. So there are 2 different types of muscle fiber. Here's your science lesson of the day. Anyone who's done GCSE biology should probably know this, but yeah, there are 2 different types of muscle fiber, actin and myosin. Myosin is your fast twitch muscle fiber, which fires off and is great for anaerobic activities such as weightlifting or sprinting or whatever it is, and it's very powerful but can only work for a short period of time. And then actin, this is my biology from GCSE, by the way, so if I'm saying this wrong, anyone who's a physio or whatever, spare me please. Actin is your slow twitch muscle fiber, which is better for endurance workouts, and they are thinner muscle fibers, and myosin's a little bit fatter. We all have different proportions of each of these muscle fibers genetically, and I am quite sure that I have a lot more myosin than actin. I'm just totally not built for long distance workouts, but I do like to test myself, hence the marathon. How did you build confidence in the gym / with boxing? Well, this goes back to some of the stuff that I said before about starting out at the gym, but for me it was just getting out there, just doing it again and again and again, and of course I felt unconfident. And you know what, still, I've been doing boxing for 2 years, and still every time I turn up to a session I'm worried that I won't be good enough, and it's like a constant fear that I have that I won't be as good as the last time that I did it. But you can't improve all the time, and training in general is difficult and it's tough on our bodies, so actually just I think turning up is the awesome thing. Then getting the session over and done with, that's kind of secondary. For me it was just showing up day in day out and doing the sessions, and over the space of 8 years or 9 years or however long I've been training, most of that is now second nature to me. And it's the same with running. I don't feel self-conscious on the streets, and I do understand, obviously, I kind of look like a runner or whatever, and I totally get that. But I think just kind of being unconfident is so energy consuming, and I think if you just send yourself out and go for a run or walk or whatever it is, whatever you really want to do, and are enjoying it, that totally supersedes the feeling of unconfidence. Just stick in your headphones, stick up your high ponytail, let it swing, and just strut your stuff down the streets. It's worth it if you enjoy that exercise. Is fasted training worth the hype? Some people like fasted training, other people hate fasted training. My boyfriend, for example, can't move until he's eaten breakfast, whereas I quite often go for a run before breakfast or go to the gym before I've eaten breakfast or brunch or whatever it is, and I really like that. It totally depends on you and what you enjoy. The benefits supposedly is that, well, I think there are multiple benefits, but with running is that you become fat adapted, which is where your body can switch over to burning fat more efficiently. So when you kind of hit the wall or you run out of glycogen stores in your muscles, your body can switch over to burning fat without that kind of clunk of hitting the wall where you suddenly feel like you have no energy. And I never hit the wall in my marathon, and I think that's partly to do with doing lots of fasted exercise, but it is stressful for the body, and it's not something that we should be doing on a regular basis according to research or the stuff that I've read. What is your 10k PB? It is currently 45:18. That was right after the marathon. I'm hoping to get it below that, of course, but we'll wait to see if my IT band settles down. How to get abs? This is one of my least favorite questions in the entire world, and I don't mean to say that in a rude way, because of course people have aesthetic goals and that's totally fine, but getting abs is A, not the epitome of fitness. If you have abs, it doesn't mean you're fit, it just kind of means you have a low body fat. And B, it is so much to do with genetics that, you know, I could give you exactly what I do and you could do it for the 8 years that I've been doing it, and you would still not look the way that I look. You would look your own version of fit, sure, but it wouldn't necessarily be exactly how I look because we have different genetics. If you look at Grace and me, for example, we train in totally different ways, but we both have abs because we both have that kind of genetics where we don't store fat on our midsection. We both store fat on our bums and our thighs, and the boobs, of course, which means that it's much more likely that if we drop a little bit of fat, the first thing to show will be our abs. Having said that, you can of course train sections of your body to build the muscles, so you can train your core to build the muscles there, but some of the best ways of doing that is actually squats, weighted sessions on other parts of the body where your core has to work and engage to support yourself, that kind of as a byproduct of the other workout that you're doing actually strengthens the muscles there, builds them, and means that if you did lose some body fat or something that they'd show. But I don't think having abs as a goal in itself is particularly healthy or helpful to your training goals. If that is your only training goal, I think you need to rethink why you're training, why you're getting into it. And you know, to be honest, I don't think it has any longevity if that is the only reason that you're going to the gym. I don't mean that to sound harsh, I just think that's reality. I used to train purely for aesthetics and I just got a bit bigger and was really unhappy, and then I realised that actually I really like training, and then I trained for fun, and now I'm much fitter than I've ever been and also leaner. So it's annoying. The world is unfair, but that's just how it is. Are you interested in ultramarathons? Actually, yes. Having said that, I really hate endurance exercise. I really want to do an ultramarathon. I think marathons are too mainstream. They're too much kind of for fame and glory. Whereas ultramarathons, you have to be proper weird to do an ultramarathon, and I love that. I feel like I am part of that crew, even though I have never run further than a marathon. But I really like the idea of multi-day events, running events or hiking events or whatever it is, where you just get to go out into the mountains, enjoy the views, eat a crap load of food, and just get to the end, really. So yes, I would like to do one at some point. So if you have any that you know of that you'd like to suggest to me to apply for, I will do that, as long as I don't have to run the entire thing, because I just definitely can't do that. How do you know that you're eating enough when you are training? For me, I know because I get hungry if I'm not eating enough. I eat intuitively, so I kind of trust my body quite a lot with how I feel. Also, I tend to lose weight if I'm not eating enough. That's just sort of physics. But yeah, I think it is actually quite an important question, because if you're not eating enough when you're training, then you're not going to be making the gains that you want to be making. And obviously if you're training for gains, then that is very important. I think it is so individual though that it's very difficult for me to give you an answer of how you can know how you're eating enough. But just get to know your body, listen to your hunger signals, understand whether your body likes to eat before or after a workout, how much it likes to eat, and just feed it kind of what it needs and what it wants. How do you decide on a new training goal? Is it just when you get bored? Yeah, kind of. I just like setting myself challenges, and whether that is running a marathon or doing a boxing match or running 23 kilometers up a mountain, I like trying different things. But the basis of all of it is functional training and being able to do cardio and resistance training. I mean, this is a common theme throughout this entire vlog. Just being able to do it all is really important to me. I think that is key if you want to be doing, you know, lots of different types of things, challenges or events, races, whatever it is, then you should have a baseline level of fitness that includes cardio, HIIT preferably, and weighted resistance workouts. All of them are really important, and I do all of them throughout the year in varying different proportions. My workout split changes all the time, but it always will contain all of those things. So I think that is it. That's all the questions that I have time for in this video. I'm so sorry it's already very long, but I hope you found it enjoyable and hopefully useful as well, and I hope I answered your questions. If you have any more questions, obviously do ask below, or head over to my Instagram to DM me or comment on one of my posts. I appreciate all of your support. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.